So let me show you what I'm using here. So these are going to be my surfaces, and what I'm doing, y'all, is I'm making small projects that will look adorable in a little vignette or on a tiered tray. And on Monday, y'all, on Monday, I'm going to actually style these projects live. I'm going to come on live and I'm going to actually build out and show you exactly how I'm displaying them. Okay, doesn't that sound like fun? So this is one of the surfaces I'm using. It's just a 6x6 canvas board. Okay, I think I picked these up at Walmart, but they're everywhere. They're at the Dollar Tree. All the major craft stores have these little canvas boards. And the particular pack I got, I think, was a set of 3. But anyway, this is 6x6. Okay, so I have a 6x6 canvas board. So I'm going to be using that. And then I have 2 6x6 chunky canvases. I love these canvases. You can find these at Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I love them because they're nice and chunky, so they stand up on their own. They're great to work with. So I'm gonna be using 2 of these today. Okay. Thank you, girls. Thank you for sprinkling. I'm going to be using a little mini shadow box here. Now, I've already started painting this one. I'm going to show you. See, this is what it actually looks like. It's 5x5, and we have these available for sale at the Little Blue House. So if you were on the event page, there's a list with all the links of these surfaces so that you can purchase them from us if you want to. And this is a little 5x5 mini shadow box. I started painting it white, not quite finished. And then we are going to be using a wood house block. I started painting this one too, just painting it white. A 4x4 wood block and a 3x4 wood block. So I started painting these as well. All of these wood blocks are available at the Little Blue House. Okay? It's going to be great. You're right, Darlene. Why am I scared? It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. But just know, if it runs long and you have to drop off, no worries. The replay will be here for you. Okay? And I think that's all my surfaces. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 little surfaces. These are going to be adorable. I can't wait. So let's talk about what's going to get painted. Okay, because that's what I like to kind of get some of the base painting done and out of the way while I have my paint open. So I'm going to be painting with Country Chic. This is a chalk and mineral based paint. These are paints I carry at my studio. They are my favorite. I love chalk paints. The color I'm using is called Simplicity. This is just a white. Y'all, if you don't have white chalk paint, you can use whatever kind of white paint that you have. I just really like the chalk paint because it just stresses really well, and it usually just takes like 1 coat to cover my surface. So I've already put 1 coat on my house block. Okay, we're going to paint that. I've started painting my little mini shadow box. I'm just going to paint it all out white. Okay, and now I'm painting out the wood blocks. So basically, all the wood items, the base coat is going to be white. Okay, all the wood items. Hi, Vicki. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to my page. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint here for a second. This isn't gonna take long, and y'all, this coat of paint, it doesn't have to be super pretty. What I'm doing, the reason I'm doing it is because we're going to napkinize. And if you've never done napkin art before or napkin crafting, napkinize is my word for anything that I alter with a napkin. Anything that gets transformed with a napkin, okay? So I'm painting these out white because when you do napkin art or napkin crafting, we're only using the top tissue of the napkin, and that top tissue is really sheer. So I don't want the wood grain showing through my napkin. Now, sometimes I do, but for these particular napkins, for these particular projects, I don't. I don't want the colors to alter at all. So I like to paint my surfaces a really neutral color. In this case, just white. Simplicity is the name of this color. Just a stark white. And what's going to happen is this white is really going to be like a spotlight kind of shining through my napkin tissue, my napkin art, and it's just going to make it really vibrant and beautiful, and it's going to be great. Okay? Does that make sense? Oh, I see y'all are making some friend connections. That's good. That's always good. I got a little splinter of wood here. Let me grab that. If you want to sand your projects first, you can. I didn't because these are going to be spooky projects. They don't really have to be perfect. They're okay to just be kind of spooky, kind of fun. You'll see me use a heat tool a lot today. That's just to speed along the crafting. So if you have a heated tool, embossing gun, embossing tool, you can use that. I'm just using it to dry paint, dry stuff, dry Mod Podge, things like that. Even you could even use a hair dryer if you want to for that. Just kind of helps speed things along. There we go. So how is everyone enjoying their weekend so far? It's actually fairly pleasant here today. It's not too hot. The temperatures finally started dropping a little bit in the mornings. So it's been much more comfortable. But I know some of you are getting like true fall temperatures. And I'm jealous of that. Okay. If you're interested in the napkin bundle, we do still have Halloween napkin bundles for sale. They're $7. And you're going to be able to make more than just one thing with the napkin bundle because napkins have more than one image on them. So keep that in mind if you decide to pick up surfaces. If you want to do something to give to someone or make multiples. Some of you, I know, like to sell your projects. All right, let's see here. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. Let me dry this side and then I can turn it over and paint the other side. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for the stars. That's so sweet. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to... Okay, I just texted Kristen. I'm going to see if she'll post the supply list in a comment here in the live. Since my hands are already getting pretty messy. Okay, that's good and dry. Let's paint this side. And then all I have left to paint after this is just the back side of my shadow box. Thought I'd get a head start on painting. That way you guys didn't just have to sit here and watch me paint. And again, if you're using the chalk and mineral-based paints, one coat will be plenty. Depending on what you're using, if it's just a craft paint or an acrylic paint, it's hard to say. If it's not covering well enough, just add another coat, okay? It's 100 in the Texas Panhandle. Ugh, I know. We're all so ready to be done with the heat. Makes me so thankful for seasons. All right, let me just get a little coat of paint on this. Now, I think the first project I'm going to show you, I need to make sure my glue gun's heating up too. Let me make sure that's on. I'm just going to paint right over this little hanger. I don't plan to use the hanger. This little sawtooth hanger, I don't plan to use that, but I'm not going to take it off. At least not right now. Okay. So I'm going to turn on my glue gun, make sure that's getting nice and hot. Okay, I think I have everything painted now. So I'm going to grab a baby wipe and kind of clean up my fingers a little bit. So I'm curious, how many of you have done napkin art before? And if you have, I want you to just post some hearts in the comments, okay? I want to get a feel for how many of you have done this. Now, I know a lot of my napkin club girls are watching, and they're pros at it now. I actually have a napkin club where I ship out every month a unique variety of napkins to my members. And then we have a private Facebook group, and I go in live once a week and teach different projects, different techniques. It is so much fun. So, yes, I see some hearts. Okay. Awesome. Now, some of you might be brand new to it. So if you're brand new to it, I want you to post a smiley face. That means you're eager to learn, okay? So if you're brand new to napkin art of any kind, post a smiley face. That's going to help me know kind of who I'm talking to when. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oh, I see lots of hearts coming up. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And don't forget to sprinkle this out. Somebody's going to be a lucky winner. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just close up my white paint here. Now, I'm going to be using some white paint again in a little bit. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go wash out my brush or anything. I'm just going to wrap it up in a baby wipe. Just wrap it up in a baby wipe, and I'm going to sit it on my plate. That's going to help keep it damp so that it doesn't try to dry up while I'm not using it. Okay, so it's just a nice little tip if you've not heard that before. It's great to kind of keep your paint fresh on your brush, your paint on your brush fresh, and so it doesn't get all crusty. Okay, Kristen is online with us right now. She is posting the supply list. Okay, so she's just copied and pasted it from the event page. So if any of you are looking for any of these surfaces or supplies, or you want a napkin bundle, all of those things, all of those links will be in that comment that she's posting right now. Okay, you just started this summer. Yes, Cindy, it's wonderful, and it's really I'm going to be honest, it's a little addictive. You're going to fall in love with it, and you're going to get hooked on it, and you're never going to look at napkins in the same way, like, ever again. Okay, so I'm going to move some of my painted surfaces here out of the way now that they're painted, and we're going to start crafting. So the first project that I want to do with you today, let me clean up my area here a little bit. I'm going to try to not make just a huge, massive mess while I'm crafting today. So this is going to be our first little project. It's so cute. We're going to work on the house. We're going to work on the wooden house. And this is Home Sweet Haunted Home. Look how cute that is. It's got little mummy wrappings all over it, and spider webs, and cute little palm spiders with twine legs. Super cute. I'm going to show you the other side. I haven't put spiders on the other side yet, but I will be. Isn't that darling? So this is the project we're going to work on first. And the reason I'm working on it first is because I have a series, okay? It's a house series. We call them DIY decor kits, where we do a little chunky house like this for every season and every holiday. And this is our one for October, okay? This is our one for Halloween. Isn't that so cute? So this is the only kit or the only project that you can actually order this as a kit. So if you decide to order this as a kit, you get everything. You get all the stuff to make 6 little spiders. You get all the cheesecloth. You get the ribbon. You get the wood block, the napkin, everything. Okay. So that one we are selling separately. The rest of these are just projects just made right from this bundle. Okay. And this napkin is in the bundle. It's in the bundle. So if you want to take it on by yourself, all you really need is to get a wood house block. You'll get the napkin in your napkin bundle, your mini Halloween bundle, and then you can do whatever else you want to your block. You can add the other things. Okay? So this is where we're going to start. All right? So when we're napkinizing on wood surfaces and canvas surfaces, I'm almost always using Mod Podge matte. Okay? This is the yellow label, Mod Podge matte, not the glossy. I have a big problem with the glossy. I don't care for the glossy at all. The glossy is in like a red label. To me, it never really fully feels dry. It always feels tacky. It feels sticky. My projects stick to the counter or wherever I'm putting them, and I just don't like that. So I always use the Mod Podge mat. When it dries, it has a nice satin clear finish, and it's not sticky and any of those things. So it's really perfect, really fun to use. Dimensions on the house, it's about 6 inches tall. We cut these ourselves. It's 6 inches tall and it's about 4 inches wide by 1.5 inches thick. Okay, so these are custom cut for our DIY decor series, and I'm going to go ahead and show you this one first. Okay, so I'm going to first off grab my napkin. Now this is a napkin that I was working with when I was making the other samples. So I just want to show you 2 pieces of it are gone. This is what they call a towel size napkin. And with the towel napkin, you actually have 6 images, which is totally great. Lots to work with, lots to play with. So I'm going to cut off a couple of images here. And when I say images, I'm really talking about like the quadrants or well, we can't call it a quadrant because this has 6 panels, but basically the panel of the napkin. So I'm going to cut this off. And now I'm going to separate the napkin, okay? Now this is my method. It works great for me. I hope that it will work great for you. I call it the lick and stick method. I literally take my finger and tap it on my tongue and my thumb. And just tap it on my tongue and then do this. Just let it kind of, not all the way dry, but just to the point of being a little bit sticky. And then press, pinch, kind of pinch real hard, press your fingers together, and then look what happens. It helps take the layers off. And actually this one took both layers off at the same time, which is great. This is actually a 3-ply napkin, which are I believe all but one of the napkins in this bundle is 3-ply. So you can see there's 2 plies there. This is the ply we're trying to get to. We want the top tissue. We want the top napkin, okay? Because that's where the art is. And if we accidentally leave a ply on, unfortunately, the second we go to decoupage the napkin on, the top tissue tries to release. It just tries to release and it kind of just turns into a mess. So we want to make sure that those plies are completely off, okay? There you go. Yes, you can get the napkin bundle on my website. You can get the surfaces on our website. And Kristen posted a link there just a few minutes ago. Hopefully she'll post that again a few times. Okay, so let's napkinize. Let's do this. All right, so I have a paintbrush here. This is just a plain regular paintbrush. I'm also going to be using what I call a chip brush, okay? Chip brushes are natural bristles, okay? They're natural bristles, so they're kind of sturdier, okay? So I'm going to dip into my Mod Podge mat, and I'm going to put on a nice healthy coat on top of this wood house block that I have painted out with Simplicity, which is white. So what is a healthy coat? Well, you don't want to be too chintzy. You don't want it to be too thin. So we want to make sure that our project looks really nice and wet. Doesn't have to be globby, but we want to make sure that it's really good and wet. So I'm going to kind of try to hold this in the light and see. There we go. Can you kind of see that reflecting in the light to see how nice and wet that looks? And now I'm going to position my napkin on. Now I'm going to try to bring this top home, okay, as close to the top of the kind of the rooftop here as I can. It doesn't have to be all the way to the top, but I'm bringing it up, you know. Let me get it on here and I'll show you. So I'm just going to lay this on. It's not on there exact, and that's okay because it's a big word. It's got, like, haunted is a pretty wide word here. So put it on there the best that you can. We want to make sure the Home Sweet Haunted Home is on the block. I'm going to take my chip brush now and it's dry. Nothing on it, okay? And I'm going to pounce. This is our pouncing brush. I start in the middle of the block and then I work my way out. And y'all, you can really push this down. We really want to push. We're really pushing the napkin tissue into the grain of the block, the wood. And it's totally okay to have a few wrinkles, all right? But this is what I don't want you to have. I don't want any air bubbles or big, like, I'll call them air wrinkles. It's okay if you have some texture. And I actually like the texture. So I'm going to try to hold this up kind of close so that hopefully you can see. Now, do you see? You can kind of see there's texture on that block, right? Some of that is coming from my brush. Some of it is coming from the block itself. But I want to push down so that if I do have a wrinkle, it's not going to really look like a wrinkle. It's going to look more like texture. Okay, so I'm going to really push this down. Now I'm going to take my heat tool because I'm on a live and I have several projects I want to do with you. And I'm going to dry this a little bit. And then we're going to do something with the edges. And I'll show you that here in just a second. I'm just kind of drying it just a little bit. It's going to actually dry really fast with your heat tool. And then I want to show you, you're going to have a piece here at the bottom, right? Now, I don't really care about the bottom. I don't want to cover, I'm not going to cover the bottom. I'd rather use this part of the spider web somewhere on the part that's going to really show. So you can take a sanding file. You can take a piece of sandpaper, whatever you want to use. It could even be like a foam sanding block, okay? And I'm going to sand this piece off, but I'm going to keep it, all right? Now then, for the other stuff that's on the side here, I'm going to be wrapping those around, okay? So I want to do the rooftop first. So let me grab my paintbrush here. Get a little more Mod Podge. So I'm going to come up here on the roof. And I'm going to add some Mod Podge. Now the roof is the part that's been cut against the grain. So it's going to be a little more rough, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Now watch what I'm going to do here, okay? I'm going to take one corner and I'm going to just lay it down. And I'm just going to kind of pat it, tap it with my finger. And then I'm going to come back in with my pounce brush. Okay, so now I have a spider web up here. Don't worry about this just yet, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. And it's going to give me this little piece of napkin kind of right here at the top. This little extra piece. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and literally just cut that off. Just cut it. And then I'm going to come back and pounce. Now what you're going to notice is because this napkin has a white background, it just blends right in with the paint. You cannot tell. You cannot tell, right? I mean, it just blends right in with the paint. So it's perfect. And we're going to be doing something on the sides of our haunted house anyway. Our little home sweet haunted home. Okay, so now we're going to go to the sides here. Same thing. I'm not going to sand these off. I'm just going to put down some Mod Podge here and just lay it right down into the Mod Podge. Pounce it. And again, don't worry about it being cut off. We're putting something else on the sides, so I promise it's going to look spooktacular, spooky cute. Okay, and we have now done one side of our house. Okay. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you for posting again. I appreciate that. What she's posting is the link to the Napkin Club bundle, as well as links to surfaces, and then just information about the other supplies that I'm using today. Okay. All right. So now that we have this side down, I'm going to, again, make sure that this is really dry before I turn it over. I don't want it to stick to my surface. I'm using a craft mat here, a non-stick craft mat. But, you know, it's still just best to make sure this part is really good and dry. And it is. It's nice and dry. Really went fast. So I'm going to turn it over now, and I'm going to do the same here on the back with one exception. And I'll explain that when we get to it. All right. Okay, let's do it all over again. You're going to be a pro after this one project. So I'm just going to kind of drag it down. Perfect. And then just kind of pat it with your fingers. Be careful. Everything in you is going to tell you to smooth it, but I want you to pat it, because if you try to smooth it, I'm telling you, this napkin tissue is very sheer, and when it's wet, it's at its most fragile, so it could easily tear, okay? That's why when you're pouncing, we're pouncing up and down, because we don't want it to tear. Okay, so there we go. We've got that one on. Thank you, Janet. Hi, Terry. How are you? My sanding files are in the store. I don't know if they're on the supply list. This one this one's actually a washable sanding file by Foundations Decor. But there is another pack of files that's really nice because it has small metal ones in it too. It's a really good one. Okay, so this is nice and dry. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to sand off this bottom piece, remember, because I want to reuse that. So I'm going to save that, put that in a pile to save. Now, when we come back up here to the top, you're going to realize that some of this is going to overlap. Like this piece looks good here, but this piece really overlaps a lot. So I'm going to actually sand off this edge because I already have some spider web on the roof, right? See how I already had that one right there? But this one, there's not a whole lot of that one showing, so I'm okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this one down. So I'm going to let y'all decide. That's just kind of personal preference. You do it however you would like. And let's pounce. A lot of this on the top gets covered up, so it's really going to be a non-issue. Okay. All right, so let's do my sides here. It is a nice idea to do this on a non-stick craft mat or even a piece of wax paper if you don't have a non-stick craft mat. That way you're not sticking yourself to the table. Okay, now I'm just simply going to dry. And we're going to add a few extra cobwebs on the front. Okay? Oh, you're watching with your granddaughter? Oh, well, tell me her name. I'll tell her hello. Tracy, all your kits are sold out. Meaning this one, this haunted home kit? Okay, we'll add some more. We make these ourselves, so we'll add some more. In fact, let me ask Kristen to add some more real quick. It's so nice. She just had her baby, but she's still helping me while she's taking care of the baby at home. Okay, so there we go. All right, we're pretty dry. Dries really fast. Now I want to add a few little extra spider webs on the front. Okay, so look like right here. Like this looks really kind of plain to me. That looks a little plain. I want to add a little extra. And I have some here. Remember from the bottom? So, and of course you've got a whole napkin full, so you can go in and cut extras if you want to. So I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge right here on top. It is a good idea. It's a very, very good idea to make sure that you, let me pull this up just a little bit. There we go. Make sure that you dry your piece before you layer another napkin on top of it. Okay, it is a good idea to make sure that that's nice and dry. Let's try this real quick. And the other thing is you don't want to sand off a napkin unless it's dry, because sometimes it gets gummy, and again, you could tear your napkin. Okay, you could tear the part that you want. You had a difficult time finding how to join this since I've not done one before. Oh, it's okay, Lucy. All of this, you're going to be able to watch the replay, so don't worry. You're all good. I'm doing several little projects, so you'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to take that off. And that looks good. So see, I just added another little bit of spider web right up here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing kind of over here on the other side. This one, I think I'll put some on this one right here. You can put them wherever you want. Cut this corner off. Whoops. No, not you. So you can load your little home sweet haunted home up with as many cobwebs as you want. Okay? It's so much fun. Well, hi, Connie. I'm glad you caught us too. Caught the live. So now I added another one here. I'm going to add another little bit right up here. I got this little tiny bit. And that's probably all I'll do on this one. Pull this up so it doesn't try to stick to the other part. And I'm just going to sand off. There we go. Perfect. Isn't that cute? Home sweet haunted home. Okay, so now that this part is done, I want you to put a top coat over everything. All right. Now, the reason we have to do this, okay, the reason we have to do this is you got to remember it's still a napkin. It's still a napkin. So those of you that are in my napkin club, I'm going to ask a question, and you better get it right. Because you know better. You've been in the club and you've learned. What is a napkin's purpose in life? Go ahead and put that in the comments. What's a napkin's purpose in life? And y'all, this coat can be a thin coat. It does not have to be a super thick coat. Just a nice thin coat over the whole thing. Let's see. Yes, look at my girls there. Awesome. So proud of y'all. A napkin's purpose in life is to absorb. It's to absorb. So I have grandkids that love to touch all of the things. And if one of my little grandkids, one of my little grand twins has been eating Cheetos and comes and grabs this, piece or whatever piece that I've done, I want to be sure that I can clean it. So basically, or like if something spills, right? Something spills, things happen. So it's a good idea to do a coat just over the whole entire thing. It's not going to take long to dry. This is doing two things for us. Two things. First off is protecting is sealing the napkin. It's protecting the napkin. It's sealing it, right? It's sealing it. It's protecting it so we can clean it, you know, all the things protecting it. The other thing it's doing is it's actually making our napkin even more transparent. And I love that. I want this to not look like a napkin, right? Like I love it when the images really look like they're part of the wood or part of the canvas or whatever, okay? So now this guy just has to be dried and then we're going to decorate him. And that's the fun part. Actually, it's all fun. Yes. Okay, thank you, Kristen. Kristen has added more inventory for our haunted house here. And this is just if you want to order this as a kit on its own. We do these as a DIY decor series. And this is our Halloween house. That's why I went ahead and showed it first. So that way, if you get the kit, you can come back and watch the replay and it'll be right here at the very beginning. Okay, and see, just like that, we're good and dry. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, you ready? Okay, so the next thing I want to do with my house, okay, is I want to add some what I'm going to call mummy wrappings, okay? Mummy wrappings. And y'all, this is cheesecloth. It's just cheesecloth. You can get it in the fabric section. It usually comes in a package, like this was in a package. And it's super fun to use for your Halloween projects because it's got kind of a spooky, you know, kind of feel to it. I'm going to cut a piece of this, and I'm cutting through all the layers. I just kind of unwound it. I'm cutting through all the layers here. There's one, and here's the next one. About the width of your block, but this can be ish. It doesn't have to be exact. It can be ish. And I'll show you why here. So I always have a hard time seeing where these open up. Okay, here we go. So I'm kind of opening this up. This actually will open up even more. Do you see? It's just going to open up even more, but I think I'm going to leave it about like this. This is pretty good. Now I'm going to be attaching this on my house, not on the bottom. I'm just going up the side, over the top, and down the other side, not on the bottom, because I want to make sure, well, I take that back. I put it on the bottom. I put it on the bottom of this one. Okay, I'll put it on the bottom. Okay, so watch what I'm doing. I'm kind of making it more spooky. You can kind of pull it a little bit, just kind of twist and pull and all the things. I want to make it just a little more spooky. And you can do that even while it's actually on the house. So I'm going to go ahead. Now, I want you to be careful because hot glue is hot, right? So you can drizzle on a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to kind of rough up the edges here. But let it sit there for a second before you put your fingers in it. All right? Don't want anybody getting burnt. And it's very little. Notice I'm using a fine tip glue gun. Let's see if I can show you the tip. There we go. A fine tip glue gun. So it's putting on very, very little. You need very little for this. And then just press it. Cute, 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 cute. And I'm just going to kind of keep going around. You can do little dots if you want, little lines, but very, very little. Because I don't want it all plastered. I don't want it all plastered. I want it to look spooky, and I want to pull at some of the edges and all that fun stuff. So I haven't really pulled on this end. So do you see? I'm just kind of, you can just kind of pull it apart a little bit. You want it to look extra spooky. Perfect. And now right down here where it ends, I will put just a little more glue right there around that end. So fun. And then just really start, you can kind of start pulling at it. You want it to look really spooky. Nice and spooky. Okay, now I have another piece here. I'll show you on this one. See? Just cute and spooky. Your spider webs kind of show through it. It's kind of fun. Now on this one, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to grab some ribbon, and you use whatever ribbon you want to use. I'm going to say, I should have put a ruler out here for y'all. Just kind of a, I'm going to say 12 inches. Maybe this is about 12 inches. And then fold it in half and cut it again. So maybe six-ish, 7-ish inches. Okay, now I've got this other piece here. So let me open this up. Okay, there we go. Got this other piece here. I wanted to open it because I want it to be easy to kind of separate. Now watch what I'm going to do. You ready? I've got this long piece here. I'm going to tie a bow, but it's not really going to look like a bow. So just make a loop, just like a normal bow, round and through. Just a normal bow. And when we pull this, it's going to get real shabby looking. Okay, so you can kind of see I've got a bow going here. But now I'm going to separate out all the pieces, the layers. So just kind of play with it for a minute. And I mean, the shabbier, the you know, the stringier, the better. Come on. There we go. Okay, I just really want this to look really stringy. And on these ends, again, you can kind of pull them just tattered, real tattered and spooky mummy wrappings, right? Okay, so now I've got this kind of this blobby mess, right? Just a pretty blobby mess. I'm going to take these two pieces of ribbon now. I'm just using this orange. It has a black dot on it. And I'm going to tie this off. Oh, I hope I didn't cut these too short. No, I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to tie these off, just one single knot right there in the middle of all of the mess. Perfect. Okay, so now my ribbon's kind of tied off right here in the middle of the mess. Now I'm going to grab my hot glue here. I'm going to kind of play with that. There we go. I'm going to grab my hot glue here on either side of the house, whichever side of the house you want yours to go on, and put a really nice blob, like, you know, a really good, healthy blob of glue there. And then take all of this and lay it right into that glue and just hold it for a second. Just press down, hold it for a second. And then you can start kind of playing with all your little mummy wrappings all over again. See how cute? Isn't that cute? So cute. Like, to me, the messier, the better. I'm going to cut a cute little tail in my, on my ribbon here. Just a slant cut. That's darling. So cute. Isn't that fun? Okay, now there's one other thing we're going to add to this. Let me show you on this one. Do you see them? Right there. We're going to add these. We're going to make these adorable little spider palms. Okay, we're going to make spiders out of palms. And again, you can just you probably could keep playing with this forever. If you have a big piece, you can even cut into it to separate it out. Just fuss with it. Isn't that cute? I'm telling you, the messier, the better. So those of you that have a little bit of OCD, Does anybody out there have a little bit of OCD? It's okay. You can tell me. It's okay. And some of you already know. You kind of got to check that OCD at the door and just have fun with it. Okay? Just have fun with it. So we're going to make spiders. You ready? Oh, yeah. You could use gauze. Yeah, something like that. This is just cheesecloth, and I use a lot of it this time of year because it's cute even to just put it like in your tiered trays in the bottom of your trays and things like that. So I'm going to grab these little pom-poms. These are little, just little black pom-poms. Not too big. And some black and white twine. Okay? We're going to make the spiders. You ready? Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Peggy says she has OCD. Okay. If you've got a touch of OCD, you just got to let it go. You got to let it go and just start having fun. And just remember, Miss Tracy said, the messier, the better. It's a haunted home. It needs to be, you know, very cute and haunted. Okay, so we're going to make spider legs. You ready? Very, very simple to do. I'm taking my twine and I'm going to say about 2 inches. I'm going to fold it over about 2 inches. Okay. And I'm going to fold it over again about 2 inches. Ish. Everything we're doing today is ish. Okay. So now I know this is going to give me 3 legs. So I'm going to cut one more piece here. Let me just walk you through the process so you'll see. So I folded over 3 links. Okay, you see 3 links there. I'm going to lay this piece of twine down on my table, and I'm going to lay these 3 sections here. Now, I probably used more than I really needed to, but I want to make sure that you can see it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this twine and I'm going to tie it in a knot. 1 single knot. And after I do that, it's going to look kind of like a bow with extra tails. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to spread all this way and all this way, kind of like that. Because spiders have 8 legs, 4 on each side. So I'm going to put a dot of hot glue right here in the center where the knot is. And I'm going to take one of my little black poms and just stick it right down into the hot glue. Just hold it for a second. And again, I'm on my craft mat, which is great. So like if a little bit of the glue oozes out, it's fine because it's just going to peel right back off. And this is what it's going to look like. It actually looks like a cute little bow, right? But now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut these down to give me spider legs. Try to hold it. It's so small. It's my little spider. So it's a little pom-pom spider with twine legs. And I'm going to stick one of these right here by my knotted bow. Right there. Isn't that just the cutest? So cute. Okay, let's make another one. Let's make another one because I want to make sure everybody knows how to make these. They're really super simple. I hope I'm not overcomplicating it. I'm going to take 3 lengths of twine. All right. And then I'm going to cut another piece of twine. So this piece of twine is just going to go straight down. And again, I'm probably making these bigger than they need to be, but I just want to make sure you can see. Okay, really cute. And you can do this with bigger palms too. It's just a cute way to make spiders. So I've tied those off with a knot right in the center. Okay. Hot glue right to the center of the knot. And the palm is going to go right in the center of that. It's so easy. Sometimes the cutest things are the easiest things. And I just think this is darling. And then I'm going to cut it off. And you can decide how long you want your legs to be. your spider legs to be. I do try to make that sure that they're kind of the same length on each side. And another spider. If it was a bigger pom-pom, you could probably even do like put little googly eyes on it if you wanted to. So I'm actually going to cover up this spider right here with some hot glue. That's on the napkin. And I'm going to put one of my palm spiders here. So it looks like it's dangling from the word haunted. Isn't that cute? So, 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 so cute. Okay, does everybody know how to make a spider? Really cute. Now, if you get the kit, you're going to have the cheesecloth or mummy wrappings. You're going to have the ribbon. You're going to have enough to make 6 spiders because you're going to put 3 on the front and 3 on the back, because I like these projects to look good, as good on the front as they do on the back, especially if they're going to go on a tiered tray or they're going to be in a vignette where you're going to see them from all sides. Okay, so you would just continue on and make 6 little spiders, and you'll decorate both sides of your wood block. See, I put another one over here on this spider web. Isn't it cute? Now, one more thing that we're going to do to kind of finish this off, okay, is adding some sparkle. Okay, so this is what I'm using to do that. I like to use stickles, and any of the clear colors will work. I love diamond, I love crystal, I love unicorn. Those are all great clear stickle colors. It's a glitter glue, okay? So I don't know if you can see it in the light, but do you see Home Sweet Home is sparkling? So all you have to do this part is with your stickles. You could use a paintbrush if you want to, but it has a nice little fine tip on it here. And literally just take that tip, squeeze the bottle, and it's almost like it's you just use it to move in the letters. And then we just let that totally dry. And then all of your letters are sparkly. And I did it on all of my letters. Home, haunted, sweet, all of it. So look at sweet. You see how sweet's sparkling? I also wanted my mummy wrappings to sparkle. So you can just go in and just do some blobs, like little dip dots. And then I just came back with my finger and just kind of pounced over. Okay, so if you want your mummy wrappings to have a little bit of sparkle to them, you can add your stickles there too. Okay, isn't that fun? You like it, Leslie? I think it's so cute. So let's look at the finished one. Actually, this one I still haven't put spiders on the other side. But you can see, look at Home. Home is actually little purple bones. Isn't that cute? You can put stickles, and then haunted. And I just love the little spiders. I just think it's so cute. And your ribbon, and of course you'll put the same, put your spiders. You can put them anywhere you want on the other side, but that way it just looks really cute, like they're just kind of crawling all over this Home Sweet Haunted Home. Okay, project number 1 done. Any questions on anything about this project? I think it's so cute. I can't wait to show y'all how I'm styling it all. It's just going to be adorable, adorable, adorable. Make sure that you're sprinkling this out. One of you lucky sprinklers is going to be a winner. Yay, yay, yay. And we're going to move on now to, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next project that takes the most time, okay? Because I want to make sure I get through the ones where you really need to see what I'm doing. And then a couple of these are so simple. They're simple enough that I can walk you through them and show them to you. So are you ready for this one? It's awesome. All right, we're going to take a chunky canvas, and this adorable front door napkin is in your napkin bundle. Is that not amazing? Now I have some stickles on it. Do you see how it's sparkling? Isn't that so cute? So the front door napkin looks like this. And I was like, well, I wanted it to look like a house, right? So I'm going to show you how we're going to put the roof, how we're going to make the roof that's going to go on top of the house. Now I'm going to turn it this way so you can kind of see it is a canvas. And anything that's a canvas, y'all, when I'm finished with it, I usually just take some cute scrapbook paper or something, and I'll just put it on the back so that it looks cute. Or you could actually paint this out or napkinize it and do something in here, like a little shadow box. So it could be a reversible project if you wanted it to be. Okay? But we're going to focus on the front for today. Isn't it so cute? Like, it's too cute to spook, right? Like, I love projects. I love Halloween, but I like projects that aren't too like creepy, too gory, you know. I like cute Halloween. Okay, so we're going to be using a canvas for this, and the canvas is already white. So I don't have to paint a thing. I don't have to paint anything. I'm going to take, now I do want to kind of walk y'all through this just a little bit because this napkin is a little larger than this canvas. So we're going to be kind of careful how we position it onto the canvas. And then I'm going to show you how I made my roof and my chimney, right? Okay. Let's be adorable. Okay, so let's use our lick and stick, right? Lick and stick method. Really push your fingers together and look, just starts coming off. So I got one layer off. And now let's take another layer off. So this is a 3-ply napkin. We need to get to the very, very top tissue. Now, for those of you, if you're not in the napkin club, okay, if you're not in the napkin club, I'm giving you an opportunity to join today, okay? I'm giving you an opportunity to join. Our cutoff is typically the 3rd of each month, okay? But we have some extra napkin bundles made up. And the only reason I'm telling you this now is because this is a Halloween door. Well, in our September bundle that we just shipped out is a fall door. It's so cute. And I want to kind of do the same thing, but I want to do a fall house, not a spooky house for that one. So if you're interested in joining the Napkin Club, you can go to misstracycreates.com. Miss Tracy, MISSTRACY, creates, CREATES, misstracycreates.com, and scroll down and you'll see the logo for the Napkin Club. It's $22 a month. You get usually 15 to 18 napkins in each bundle each month. And then you get access to our private Facebook group, and you get to see all of my workshops and my projects. And that's one reason we're doing this one for you live today, because we want you to kind of get a feel for what we do in there. And let me tell you, we put napkins on all kinds of surfaces. And the reason it's good to be in that club is that all surfaces are not the same. So there's best practices and there's best techniques and best products for certain surfaces. And so that's really important. We've been doing charcuterie boards, and that's been a lot of fun. We've done a lot of things in there that have been a lot of fun. So I have my Mod Podge mat on my canvas here, okay? Now, when I get ready to put this on, this is kind of the tricky part. I want you to pull this down to where you still can see Get Spooky on the doormat. But part of your doormat's going to go kind of on the edge of the canvas. So we're trying to get Trick or Treat on, even though part of it's going to get covered up. Sorry. And we're pulling down to Spooky here. So let me get this pounced and I'll show you. I love this napkin so much. It's so cute. But that fall, you're going to love the fall house. The fall front door is adorable. And again, just push down. It's okay to have some texture. We just don't want any big air bubbles, things like that. So let me kind of show you here. Look at the doormat. So see the doormat, do you see how part of the doormat is coming down? So you're going to you want to make sure Get Spooky still shows. Okay? And then up here, Trick or Treat is going to be right here at the edge. And unfortunately, a little bit of that's going to get cut off, but it's really small and it's okay. The roof is going to to the cuteness of the roof is going to bypass that little tiny banner. Okay. Aw, thank you for saying that, Kimberly. Y'all are awesome. Okay, so let's dry this. Remember, we always want the napkin to be dry before you sand it off, because if you don't, I promise you, it's going to pull that napkin and it's going to tear. It's going to be too gummy. And it just takes a second for it to dry. If you don't have a heat tool, just move on and work on something else on another project. And then, you know, when you finish that task, this will be dry. It really does dry pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm going to take my little sanding tool here. And again, sandpaper, a foam sanding block. You can use whatever you want. And I'm sanding off all of the edges this time. No foldovers. Okay. I'll be vacuuming my floor tomorrow. Okay, so I've sanded off all the edges here. Now I want the edges to look cute too. So another napkin in your bundle looks like, oh, here we go. Okay, it looks like this. It's orange and black buffalo check. It's precious, so cute, so fun. This is just a scrap piece because remember I've already been creating with these. So I'm going to fold this over. And basically the width of this canvas is about 3 rows. Okay, it's about 3 rows of checks. So, sorry girls, scissors. I'm really bad at keeping up with my stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this. I'm not even going to fold it. I'm going to cut 3 rows. And it's going to take 2. If I remember right. So there's 1 row of 3. And here's another row of 3. Now this napkin in your bundle, it's a luncheon size napkin. So it's a large napkin. It's not as small as what you're seeing right now. You're just seeing this small because I have already used some of it. So let's go down here on the bottom. Actually, no. Let's start here like at a corner or here. Let's see. Yeah, let's start here. Okay. So can you see that? Just 3 rows. And if it's a little bit over the edge, we just sand it. It's not a problem. This one is also a 3-ply napkin, so you've got to remove 2 plies. There's only 1 napkin, I think, that's not 2 plies. And let's get to Mod Podging. So again, Mod Podge matte. Everything I'm doing for these is all Mod Podge matte. There are certain things that we use a clear gesso for. There's just, you know, there's just certain things that we do different things for. So I'm just going to kind of line that up where it's kind of right in the middle. And then just pounce. And I'm going to work my way down my other side here. And it's going to be a little short, but that's okay. I'll fix that. So now I'm going to dry these sides before I turn it over. I just want to make sure that's pretty dry before I move it. I love this. Isn't that cute? Love this napkin. I have something else I made with this napkin that I'm going to show you. It's one of my mini projects. And it might be one of my, I don't know if I should say one of my favorite things. It might be one of my favorite pumpkins ever. I'll show you in a minute. Well, not a minute. I'll show you when this is done. Okay, so I don't really care if my patterns, like this one I think was like black, orange, black. This one's orange, black, orange. If that bothers you, you just cut the strips to be exactly the same. So if you do decide to join us in the Napkin Club today, I will ship you out a bundle. And we will, you don't get charged, only get charged on the 3rd of every month. So we will just run a manual payment for you since it's after the 3rd. But we would love to have you. We'd love to have you. And we haven't started, we're just starting with our new fall bundle this week. So now look what I'm doing here. I'm just cutting a little tiny piece to overlap here where I'm a little bit short, right? But this is going to require me to Mod Podge over part of the napkin, so I want to make sure that's a little bit dry before I put this on. Yeah, that should be fine. There aren't any cancellation fees. There's no contract or anything. So even if you just want to come in for a month and give it a try, we would love to have you. Except for this is not 3. Cut it too long. There we go. And I'm just going to overlap it so that, actually should be looking at it from this side. There we go. I'm going to overlap it to where the majority of the overlap is on the very bottom. And nobody will be the wiser. Okay? Isn't that cute? So I'm going to set this to the side here for just a second. We're going to dry it just for a moment because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the top coat on it, right? I'm going to put the top coat on it and we're going to be working on the roof and the chimney while the top coat is drying, okay? Does that sound good? Felicia, you're so cute. Yes, Linda, welcome to our group. We love having you. Yes, and you also have access not only to the upcoming new videos or new Facebook Lives, you have access to all the past workshops. They're all saved in our private Facebook group. So you have a ton of workshops just right there at your fingertips, ready for you to learn, ready to teach you. All right, so I'm going to do the sides first. Ooh, that was a little heavy on Mod Podge. Pull some of that over here. Again, this is to protect our napkins. Sometimes we forget we're dealing with a napkin. We want to protect our napkin. We want to seal it. But it's also going to help our napkin to become even more transparent. The Mod Podge is going to look really milky when it goes on, y'all, but it's going to dry crystal clear. I love this door. I was trying to think if I have the fall door here to show you. I don't think I have it in here. There's a picture of it on the website, I think. Okie dokie. I'm going to set this to the side to dry. And we're going to work on the roof. Okay. So this is our roof. All right. You ready? This is our roof. It's just a piece of a box. Okay. This is just from a cardboard box. So I'm sure you have a box that's delivered to you from Amazon or from somewhere. It's just a piece of a cardboard box. Let me grab my ruler. I am going to give you some measurements for this. So the bottom of my roof is about 6 3/4 inches. So a little less than 7 inches. And the sides of the house are about 4.5 inches. Yeah, about 4.5 inches. Okay. So 4.5 inches here, a little less than 7 inches here. Okay. Now, this roof can be wonky. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you just need a little scrap piece that's going to be the chimney. Okay. Now we're going to make it look extra cute because we're going to peel off the top layer here and we're going to expose the corrugate. And the corrugate, or the corrugated, some people call it corrugated, is the little kind of mountain valley kind of stuff. It's that stuff. Now, do you see how some of this is still on here? I want you to leave some of it still on here. I think it looks kind of fun when it's kind of partially off and partially on. Isn't that cute? I love that. And I'm going to do the same thing to the little chimney. Okay. So just go peeling it off. This is what our roof is going to be made out of. All right. Super cute, super simple. Okay, so we're going to take some black paint this time. This black paint I'm using is called Licorice. You can use whatever black paint that you have. So I'm going to open up my black paint here. I'm going to grab a different paintbrush now. Okay, and I'm going to dip into the black. Not too heavy, all right? And I'm going to start kind of painting. We're not really painting this like super black. I still want to see some of the brown. I still want to see some of the cardboard. So you can kind of go down into areas and make sure and kind of do the sides. So it's going to look kind of spooky, right? Really cute and spooky. Let me see if this is, yeah, that looks good. You can have a skinny chimney, a fat chimney. That's up to you. A wonky chimney, however you want it to be. But I like some of that corrugate still showing there. Okay? Thank you, Sharon, for answering questions for me. I am being very brave. Normally I would put an apron on, but I was like, well, I wanted to look all cute, you know, for the live here. So there we go, right? Our chimney and our roof. Now I'm going to dry these real fast. And it's going to take no time to dry. I did paint the back of mine because, again, I wasn't sure, you know, how it would look from the back. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the back of the house, you know, since it is a canvas. So just flip them over real quick when you're done and just slap some black paint on the back. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be kind of shabby and distressed, but it just, to me, it looks a little better than just having nothing. And I guess don't peel the back because then your roof will be too flimsy. So only peel off the front, but you don't have to paint it like super perfect. Like let some of that show through. Okay, so let me put a lid on this. Let me stick this in my baby wipe over here. And let's try this real quick. Are y'all having fun watching? I hope you are. There's a lot of you watching right now. That's awesome. You know what, Nancy? I got this shirt last year. I'll have to remember. I got it online. I want to say it was like a Peach Marketplace. Peach Marketplace. It's online, but I did get it last year, so I don't know if it's still available. Okay, these are dry now. So I'm grabbing my white paintbrush. Remember our white that we painted all the base coat stuff with? I'm grabbing my white paintbrush now, and I'm just going to put a little bit here in the lid. I really don't want much. Okay, and now watch what I'm going to do. A little bit of white. I'm just going to kind of come in just really lightly kind of over the top. Just adding a little bit of white to it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the chimney. If you want a little bit on the inside parts, you can go in and just kind of pounce it in. So you make this look however you want it to look. Okay? It's looking good, huh? Nice and spooky. Nice and haunted. Alright, put that one back. Okay. So now we're going to build the roof. We're going to basically attach the chimney to the roof. So when you're looking at it, and you can put your chimney on whichever side you want. Decide which part of your chimney looks best to you. I kind of like mine like that. So your chimney is going to be on the back. So figure out exactly where you want it to go. And then I'm just going to lift it up just a hair. I'm going to stick a nice little blob of hot glue underneath there. And give it a press. And a little bit on this side. And give it a press. Really simple. So now I have my wonky haunted roof and my chimney is on. It'll look like this from the back. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's talk measurements again. The bottom of this triangle is a little less than 7 inches. The sides of the triangle are 4.5 each. 4.5 on each side. This little guy right here, I did not measure. What did I do with my ruler, y'all? Oh my gosh, let me grab another one out. It's probably right here. It's underneath some napkins, I'm sure. Okay, it's a little over an inch, so about 1.25 inches by 2 inches. Okay, 1.25 inches by 2 inches. Yeah, just easy. And again, all of this can be ish. Okay, it can be ish, but having it a little less than 7 inches down here is good width for the canvas. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the mummy wrappings. So I'm going to go back to the cheesecloth here, and I'm going to cut again a band about, it can be roughly, I don't know, 1.5 inches-ish, something like that. And I'm going to open it back up. You can open it as much as you want, as little as you want. And again, I'm going to kind of pull, and we want it to be really, really kind of stringy and not so perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to wrap some of this on my house. So let's just kind of start here. And it's okay if it gets on the back. That's not a problem. I have to have a little bit of hot glue here just to kind of hold it. You don't even have to put your hands into it. Just kind of start wrapping. And you don't have to have everything wrapped. And whenever you get happy with it, we're just going to stop. Oops. That was a little bit of a bigger blob than I anticipated. So I think I'll go maybe, I think that's almost enough. I don't want to cover it up too much. All right. So again, personal preference. You do it however you want to, and then just a little dab of hot glue. I kind of twist mine because it gives it a little bit more to kind of grab. And then depending on what you wind up doing on the back, if you do anything at all, depending on what you decide to do on the back, I mean, you could add more of this on the back, but I think that looks kind of cute, you know? So anyway, this is what the front is looking like. Now notice I didn't really put any on my chimney. And I'm okay with that. I kind of like it looking a little bit different than the rest of it. And then just really just kind of pull and want it to look really extra spooky. It just kind of grabs a hold of itself. Okay. All right. So now that it looks really nice and spooky, I'm going to add, well, let's add this last. Let's add some cute ribbon to it because, again, we don't want anything looking too scary, or I don't. So I'm going to use some of this really cute orange polka dot, and I'm going to show y'all how to make the easiest bow like ever. How many of you struggle with bows? Lots of us struggle with bows, I know. Spooksational. Ooh, I like that word, Sharon. Okay, so we're going to make a bow now. And so I want you to get a piece of a ribbon, whatever ribbon you want to use, and then go ahead and get a piece of twine. And make sure that's dry. It is. Okay, so I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm going to crisscross it. Do you see? It's in kind of the shape of a tribute ribbon, right? That kind of like a tribute ribbon, like for breast cancer awareness or, you know, something like that, like a tribute ribbon. So I'm folding it just like that, where the tails are closest to me. They're pointing at me, okay? I'm now going to take this part, the top center, this part, the top center, and I'm going to lay it down right on top of where everything intersects. And basically you're just kind of pinching it all up. See if I can hold it. Okay, just kind of pinching it all up. So let's do it again. So I have my tribute ribbon, right? So this will be my tails. That kind of helps you know how long your tails will be. I'm going to pick this up and put it kind of right down on top of the intersection. Okay, got it? Now, if this is hard for you to hold, sometimes you can, if you want to use a little bit of hot glue in there, you can. But I'm going to lay this now on top of my twine. And I'm going to tie the twine off really nice and tight here in the middle. I got a little bit off center, so let me slide that over a little bit. Okay, and tie it again. I want it to be really, really good and tight. Easiest, cutest little bow ever. Super, super cute. Very, very easy to do. So now I'm going to take my twine and I'm going to tie my twine into a bow right on top of this bow. Whoops. I'm going to have to clean my fingers in a minute. Cuteness. So cute, right? Isn't that cute? So I'm going to go ahead and do a little knot in the center, I'm sorry, in the end of each piece of twine. The tails of the twine bow, do a little knot. That'll keep it from unraveling, but it looks cute because you can unravel it beneath the knot. It kind of looks like a little tassel. And you can make these longer. You make it whatever size you want. Some people like big, big bows, so it's just totally up to you. Now I'm going to cut this off straight across right here, and I'm going to put a little flag end on this ribbon. I'm just cutting a little slit right up the center of the tail, and then going from the corner to the top of that slit and the other corner to the top of that slit. This is how I like to do my flag ends or dovetails, because if I fold them, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to cut them wrong, and then I have to fold it again, and I cut it wrong again, and then my tails are so short. So right at the center, as far up as you want, from the corner to the top of the slit, from the other corner to the top of the slit, and just make sure it cuts all the way up. And then you have these cute little tails. Really cute little tails. Okay, so now I'm going to put some hot glue on, and this is going to be kind of where the chimney and the roof meet. Okay, kind of like where they meet. It's more so, the glue is more so on the roof, but it's kind of where they meet. And that's where I'm going to press down my bow. Too cute. See how cute that is? And then of course, if you wanted to, you could put a cute little button in the center of it. You could make another little palm spider if you wanted to. You can put whatever you want to in the center, or you can just leave it just as it is. So I'm going back to my canvas now, which is just about dry. Still a little bit damp on the sides here, just a little tiny bit. Okay. And before I glue anything, I'm going to lay this on here. Now this is where you're going to lose that little trick or treat banner. And I apologize for that, but I tried to keep part of it on my other one, but I just don't know. I don't know. It's not very secure, so I think just try to forget that cute little trick or treat banner is right there. Just try to forget. And then you're going to lay your roof right into that line of hot glue. I think it turned out great. I really wanted this to be a house. And now I have a little roof for my house. Is that not the cutest? I think it's so cute. Gail, if you want to join the Napkin Club, go to misstracycreates.com and just scroll down and you'll see the little icon for the Napkin Club. Okay, so I want to show you the finished one, because I have another idea for this I think would be really cute. So here is this one. Now, I want you to look at all the stickles. I did use stickles on all the stuff going around the door, on the little jack-o'-lantern right here, on the pumpkins, in these little planters, on the lights. Anywhere you want to add stickles, I want you to add it. I also added some stickles up here, again, just like on the Home Sweet Haunted Home. Just little polka dots, and just tap your fingers in all of it. Now here's what I think I want to add. Do you see this little plate right here? This little plate right here, or maybe even right here on this step? I'm going to add my house number. I think it would be really cute to add your house number. So if you have like a white Uniball pen, or a silver Uniball pen, or even a black Pitt pen, just something that you can write with, I'm thinking about putting my house number on here. Either there or right here. We'll show it better right here. Wouldn't that be cute to have your house number on there? I just think it's darling, y'all. I think it's so cute. If you want to ink or add some paint around the edges, I did add just a little bit of paint. Do you see this paint? This kind of grungy. It's just basically almost like you're sponge brushing. You're just kind of pouncing it on. So I did add a little bit of black paint kind of around the corners, just for a little added distress. Okay. Yay, that's our second project. Woohoo. So cute. Okay, we're moving on. No, I don't have a kit for that. But all you really need is the mini napkin bundle, right? You need a box for your roof. And then you just need like the cheesecloth and ribbons and stuff. I mean, it would be really easy, I think, to pull together on your own. All right, moving on to another napkin. I got to pick up the pace here. This is going to be easy. The other ones I'm showing you are going to be really easy, okay? So here's another napkin in the Halloween napkin bundle, and he is just so stinking cute. It's a Halloween gnome. I think he is so cute. So the reason I want to show you the mini shadow box, okay? The reason I want to show you this is it's hard sometimes to put a napkin into something. So I want y'all to see kind of my method for doing that. So let me cut one of my little gnomes here. I want y'all to see how I do this because people ask me this question a lot because what they try to do is they try to measure. And measuring just never works. It never works because sometimes not all the measurements are exact and, you know, it just gets hard. So I'm going to show y'all how I put a napkin into something, okay? So here we go. Ready? All right, I'm going to press together, start separating my napkin. Okay, there's one ply. Here is the second ply. Okay, so here is my tissue, right? Here's my tissue. I'm going to put him in this shadow box, which I think will be so cute because I actually meant to bring home. We have some cute little felt pumpkins at the shop, and I meant to bring some home because I thought, oh, it'd be so cute to sit these in here with him. So I'm going to actually start on one corner. This corner right here, I'm actually fitting into the corner. Okay, it's going right against the edge in the corner. But what's going to happen is that's going to mean I'm going to have too much on this side and this other side. So here's how I like to do it. I literally just take my fingernail, okay? If you don't have fingernails, take like the end of your paintbrush or something and fold this down, okay? So do you see how I made a fold? Well, look, now I have a fold line. It's going to be so much easier. And you're just going to cut one section at a time, but it's so much easier to go in and fold it down, crease it, fold it, whatever you have to do, and then just take your scissors right along that fold line. Okay, so now I have this side. So I'm going to lay it right back down in here. And I just need to do the bottom part. So again, I'm just taking my finger and kind of creasing it to start, and then just folding it down. Perfect. There we go. And now I know exactly where and how much I need to cut off. This is so much easier than trying to do all the measurements because these boxes like this, these little shadow boxes like this, you know, they're typically, they don't cost a lot. And they're not going to always be super precise in the corners and the measurements and all of those things. Okay, I've got to get a baby wipe. I've got way too much buildup and gunk on my fingers. I love this napkin too, Lisa. I think it's so cute. Another tip for you, any of you that use baby wipes like crazy when you're crafting, which I do, is anytime you take a baby wipe out, whenever you're not using your baby wipes, turn them upside down. And that way they're always really nice and wet on the top when you go to grab one. Okay, I learned that from a long time ago from changing lots of baby diapers. long time ago. Okay, so let's put him in here now. I'm just only putting Mod Podge into the shadow box here. I already painted him out. But it's so cute. I love shadow boxes because then you can add additional little things. Okay. Now, you have to be careful when you lay it in there because it's going to try to grab it really quick. So I usually try to start at the top. I kind of start at the top and you're focusing kind of on your corners. And then just gently patting, right? And then we're going to go back and grab our pounce brush. And pounce. And make sure when you're pouncing, you're kind of pushing your brush into the corners. Make sure we get it all down in there really well. And it's perfect. Isn't that cute? He's just so cute. So he is one that then you could just wrap some ribbon around here, tie off a cute bow. You could do something with this little hanger. It just depends. I'm going to be actually just standing mine up, so I'll probably cut my little hanger off. But something could be sitting down in here with him. Maybe you have little mini Scrabble tiles and you want to spell out a word here, right? You can go in, of course, and stickle the bats. You can go in and do all kinds of stuff to him. But that's how you're going to put the napkin in the shadow box, okay? So it's 3:40, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of walk you through some of the other projects. Remember, Monday, you're going to see me style these. You're going to see me actually put these together in a vignette, okay? You're going to see them all come together. So when you're here with me Monday, I'll show you these finished out. Like I'll show you like how I added ribbon or whatever, okay? So he's really super easy. You could put napkins on the side or ribbon. You have an area right here to decorate. You could put another gnome napkin right back here if you want to, so he looks cute from both sides, okay? So that is going to be your mini shadow box. Really fun, very simple, very easy to decorate, okay? So let me show you what I'm doing with my other little projects, okay? You ready? All right. The next one I'm going to show you is the other canvas. And notice that I painted the back. I painted the back because I'm trying to decide if I want to create something in here, like a little mini shadow box. I haven't quite decided yet. You can use your scrapbook embellishments. You can use any of your Halloween embellishments, anything that you want to add. This can even be a photo. Maybe it's your kids dressed up for Halloween, right? Something like that. You can add whatever you want to back here. So this is my front. This is the napkin also, again, that's in your bundle. And this one was really super easy. The front of my canvas is white. I did not paint that, okay? Because I wanted my napkin to come shining through. And then I'm going to show you just a couple things that I did. You can see all the texture. I love it. There's a little bit of sparkle on this one. I added some sparkle just on the spider web. Do you see it glistening right there? And I added sparkle on the Happy Halloween banner down here. Again, I'm never sure how much that's going to show up on a live. There is a creepy spider that's right here, but I covered it up with a palm spider. I love the palm spiders. I just think they're so cute. I also felt like his little stem didn't stand out very much. So if you have any pins in your arsenal, like this is a gold Uniball pin, if you have any pins or something, I did a little bit of pin work. If you're going to add pin work to your napkins, okay, this is important, all right, especially for all you newbies that haven't done napkins before. You need a top coat on your napkin before you do any pin work, and it has to be totally dry. So that means you're going to napkinize the napkin, you're going to put it on here, you're going to dry it, then you're going to put your top coat on, and you're going to dry it. Then you can do pin work, okay? That's when you can do pin work. So I used my gold pen here, and I did little gold lines on the stem, just some fun little lines. And do you see the little places under his eyes and at his mouth? Let me show you what the napkin actually looks like. This is what the napkin looks like. Do you see how the stem doesn't really stand out? But now look at it. Do you see the little places under his eyes and his mouth? Well, because I did the gold, I just added to it. So I just kind of filled it in with that metallic gold. And I think it looks so cute. After it was done, then I actually painted the paint on it after the napkin was on. And I do this sometimes because I like how the paint kind of goes up over the edge of the napkin. I like that. It kind of frames out the napkin a little bit. So sometimes you're going to see me actually add my paint after the napkin is on. Now, I didn't want to put orange paint underneath this napkin, right? I wanted white because I want it to stay nice and pure. I wanted all the white parts to still look white, okay? I think it turned out really, really cute. I added some black lines on the pumpkin. So you can just add some pin work, do something fun there. Really super simple, okay? And then, of course, I'm trying to decide about the back. And I just haven't quite decided yet. So you'll find out on Monday what I do to it. And then, of course, if you want to run ribbon around it here, you can tie it off with a cute bow. You can decorate this part any way you want. You could just leave it just like this if you just want to leave it painted and nothing else, okay? That's totally up to you. So I think this one looks so cute. Look how cute they all look together. You're going to love them. They all look so cute together with that and with our Home Sweet Haunted Home. It's going to be so cute decorating with them. I think you're going to really, really love it. So let's move on to another napkin, okay? The napkin that's in this bundle is so cute, and it's a black cat. And I don't know if y'all know that, but I have a grand kitty, and she's totally black. Her name is Millie, and she has green eyes, just like this cat. So this napkin is in your bundle. This is the 4x4 wood block, okay? Painted white, 4x4. I put her on, and then do you see how I added stickles? I did a little bit of white pin work on her buckle and her hat, her little band, purple band on her hat. And then I added stickles to her hat to make it stand out. I feel like her hat kind of blended in with her. So I put stickles on her hat, right? Now look, she has a crow on her hat. Well, I wanted her to have a palm spider. So I just put the little palm spider right on top of where the black crow is. Okay. Now look at her hat. Look how it's dimensional. This is the napkin. So see, it's cute. It's got little berry things and some fall leaves. So this is what I decided to add. I have some of this stuff. Let me just show you. I have some of this stuff that I've been using on other fall projects. So I just broke off some of these. I broke some of these off, and I stuck them here on her hat so that her hat is more dimensional. Do you see the dimension? So you can add things to the hat. Now, I didn't have any little bitty tiny leaves, okay? So this is what I did. I had this little flower here, which was way too big for her, but this is how I made my leaves. I took some of the petals off of this flower. You see? I'm going to show you. And I tore them apart. And then I took my hot glue and I put a little line of hot glue kind of right down the center of it. So it's just a flower petal. And then I just scrunched it. I kind of scrunched it up. And then I stuck these in her hat. And I think it looks like a leaf. It kind of looks like a dried up leaf that fell off a tree. So I just used a little glue and literally just scrunched it up. And I stuck them in her hat. Isn't it cute? So it's okay to add dimensional things to your projects. Add some fun things. Go in, decorate them up. It's really cute. I still need to do the sides on this one. I think I'm going to use this purple paint. We just got in a brand new purple, and look at that color. It's called Opulence. So I think I'm going to do purple on her edges, and then I'll do some ribbon. And of course, I'll double side this. So there'll be a Millie cat on the other side too. Little witchy cat. Isn't that cute? Okay, so don't be afraid to do this, right? Don't be afraid to add extra little embellishments. Okay, so now to my favorite pumpkin, I think, like ever. This is using, let me show you this too. This is the 4x4 block that I used my little black cat on. Okay. And I know this is a lot, and I'm sorry. I know it takes a long time to show you all these projects, but I wanted to show you the ones that took the most technique. And then these are actually quite simple. You can do this. Everything I've showed you here, you can do, right? So this is my 3x4 wood block. Are you ready for it? Because I just love it. Like, I love it. I took the rest of my buffalo check napkin and I made it into a pumpkin. It is so cute. This is more of my corrugate, but this time I just cut it and rolled it. So I inked the edges, the little kind of the round, you know, edges part. I just inked it with some brown ink, rolled it up with hot glue. That's it. Stuck it on the top. I cut a little leaf out of felt, and I have one here to show you somewhere. Oh, right here. So when you do your leaf, this is what I did. I cut the leaf out just like a teardrop shape. And then you're going to put a little bit of hot glue in here and just pinch the bottom. And that just gives it a little bit of shape to it, right? And then I just tucked it in right here on my pumpkin. Can you see that okay? Isn't that darling? And just a ribbon and a little bit of twine. I mean, I just kept it really, really simple. And I do want to show you this product real quick. This is called Glitterific. Okay, it's called Glitterific. So you know how like Stickles, we use Stickles that has the little bitty small applicator, right? Well, the thing about Glitterific is it goes on more like a paint. So if you decide that you want your, let me find a smaller paintbrush. If you decide that you want your pumpkin to sparkle, watch right here. I'll put it right here. Let's do it right here. I'll put it on the side. Watch how this stuff goes on. It literally just goes on like a paint. And it's got kind of a, it's chunkier. It's got a chunkier glitter in it. Look at that. Now it's wet. It won't be quite that wet, but it'll make them nice and sparkly. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to put this Glitterific all over my pumpkins. And I'm actually probably going to make a couple of these because I just think they're darling. I may even come in and make a fat one like this way, right? If you wanted to make even a bigger, fatter one, you could use a whole different size of block. But I just think they're adorable. What do y'all think? Isn't it cute? I want mine to sparkle since they're Halloween. So do y'all have any questions about this? They're so cute. This is the buffalo orange and black buffalo check or buffalo plaid napkin that's in the Halloween napkin bundle. Okay? I just think it's so cute. And again, it's just going to look so cute with your other pieces. You know what I mean? Like you're going to use all of these pieces. We're going to use them all together to create this really adorable little vignette. Look how cute the pumpkin is with the house. So cute. Okay, and that's just putting, I mean, literally, it's just wrapping, every single side has the buffalo check napkin on it. The only place I didn't put it was on the bottom because I wanted to be sure that I had enough. But I know I have enough because I was able to use my scraps for this whole other piece, right? So that's my pumpkin. Too cute. Any questions on the pumpkin? It couldn't be simpler. He's really, really cute and very, very simple. No, it's not too late, Nancy. We have plenty. I made extras because I knew people would be watching today. So we have plenty that are available. And if you scroll back in the comments, Kristen McElroy, she posted the links to the surfaces I'm using. And also the very first link is the napkin bundle. So that you can order that. And I'll post the links again for y'all as well. So there's one more project. You ready to see it? It's probably the simplest of them all. Okay. With my canvas board. Remember our little canvas board? Remember this little canvas board? Okay. Sometimes when you order napkins, when you get napkins, like when I order them for the bundles, sometimes they don't tell you how many images they have on it. So this little napkin we got gypped. They only had one image and the other three were not there. It's just solid white. But it's so cute, y'all. So this is what I decided to do with mine. I napkinized my panel, okay? I napkinized my panel. This is in your kit. And then, do you see how I really, really, really sanded the edges? I really kind of distressed the edges, and I may even go in and do it a little bit more. I thought that was so cute. Added some stickles in places so it would look really cute. Now, here's what I'm going to do with this. These canvas boards are fun because you can punch holes in them. You can make a little hanging sign if you want. But what I'm going to do with mine is I'll either use a skewer or like one of these large jumbo craft sticks, and I'll paint this. But I was thinking about actually painting this and attaching it to the back so it looks like a sign. I'm going to tie off some ribbon right here, and I'm going to have it sticking in my candy bowl. Won't that be cute? So I thought it would be cute just to have a little Happy Halloween sign sticking in my candy bowl. I think it's just darling, and that's just adding the little craft stick. Probably what I'll do back here is add the craft stick, and then I'll put a piece of scrapbook paper on top of this, also on top of the stick. That way the stick is kind of sandwiched in there so it won't come out. So I'll make myself a little Happy Halloween sign. Isn't that fun? So these ideas that I'm giving you for this are really easy. It's basic napkinizing 101, right? Just napkinizing. Make sure that you seal your napkin, okay, with your Mod Podge mat. And then just stickle, decorate them however you want. If you're into really sparkly ribbons, then add sparkly ribbon. If you're more into kind of the natural burlappy, they make burlap ribbon in every color. You know, you could use that if you want to. So you just bling them up with jewels or sequins or whatever you want, and let your own personality come out in these projects. And I think it's just going to be so cute. See how that's drying? It's still pretty wet. I can put my heat gun on it, but I love the big chunkiness. So cute. And you can just paint it all over. I'm going to paint my whole pumpkin out. Okay.